celebrations, and it gives me enormous pleasure to invite you to this gathering.
Grandmaster, County Master, District Master, distinguished guests, brethren, sisters, friends all, thank you for the invitation to share in this afternoon's proceedings. It is an honour to be asked to speak here at West Calder, at the County Ground Lodge of Central Scotland's annual celebration to commemorate the 329th anniversary of the victory of King William III, Prince of Orange, at the Battle of the Boyne. I bring you fraternal greetings from the Grand Orange Lodge of Ireland, the County Grand Orange Lodge of Belfast, good wishes from Balmacart, number 6 District in East Belfast, and my private lodge, Thomas Andrews Junior Memorial, LOL 1321. Today is the culmination of all the hard work by those from the county and West Calder district. Well done to each and every one of you for all your organisational skills. Indeed, I am somewhat jealous of you all, because this evening you can lie down in a darkened room. All the planning, all the hassle, all the stress of organising the 12th is over for another year. And yes, it will have been worth it, because we're all having an enjoyable day. But as with the breaking of the booming dairy, it's a relief, it's over. Back home, I and my fellow brethren have another 5 days of planning to face, before we too can sit down and reflect on hopefully another glorious 12th. There's a point in the homeward journey from the parade from the field in Belfast when it registers with me that the 12th is over for another year. That point occurs halfway down the Lisburn Road when the county band at Miller Memorial start to play Jingle Bells. The 12th is over. Christmas is coming. Your 12th is nearly over. At least all the hard work and planning is. But let me share a Christmas story with you. The equivalent of the Miller playing Jingle Bells. After all, there's only 172 sleeps to Christmas Day. A family had twin boys whose only resemblance to each other was their looks. In everything else, they were opposites. If one felt it was too hot, the other thought it was too cold. If one said the TV was too loud, the other claimed the volume need turned down. Opposites in every way. One was an eternal optimist, the other a doom and gloom pessimist. The father decided to try an experiment just to see if he could change their attitudes, as they were not so did not be so extreme in their outlook. So one Christmas Eve, the father filled the pessimist stocking with every imaginable toy and game he could give him. In the other son's room, who was the optimist, he filled the stocking with horse manure. On Christmas morning, the father went into the pessimist's room and found him sitting there in the middle of his new dress and crying. "Why are you crying?" the father asked. Well, he says, "Because all my friends will be jealous because I have all these toys. I'll have to read all these instructions. I'll be constantly banned puppies, and at some stage all these toys will get broken." Everything was a problem for the pessimist twin. Going to the optimist twin's room, the father found him dancing for joy. "What are you so happy about?" the father asked. To which the optimist twin replied, "I got a horse for Christmas, I just can't find it yet." We all see things from different perspectives. Sometimes they're pessimistic, sometimes they're optimistic. Sometimes the glass is half empty, sometimes it's half full. Sadly, over recent times, I've heard a number of our people bemoaning the state of the country and the state of the institution. It's not the way it once was. We're not in a good place, they say in muttered tones. But this afternoon, brethren and sisters, let me challenge this negativity. Negativity brought about by insecurity. Negativity brought about by discrimination against us. Negativity nurtured by propaganda and fake news that leads to apathy. Let me state clearly and loudly from this platform, the only thing that will defeat us is ourselves. We need to stand up for what we believe. We need to hold our heads high. We need to challenge those who oppose us. Because we need to believe in our own abilities. and the heritage of faith that has been handed down from previous generations. Oh yes, there may be current political challenges brought about by Brexit. We may live in a world and a nation where everything is relative, where there is no right or wrong. If it pleases you, do it. Christian morality is scorned and ignored, and the list could go on. But brothers and sisters, the reality is we have always faced challenges. Our forefathers didn't get it any easier either. It's how we respond to those challenges that defines who we are. And when we see our culture and pray today, the history and heritage on display on our banners, when we hear the tunes of our faith and loyalty, we can be rightly proud of who we are. Unapologetic Protestants and proud Unionists. Yes, the magnificent parade which we're going to enjoy shortly, and the atmosphere will give us a boost. But we need to feel the way we do today for the next 365 days of the year. The buzz of the 12th, the boost their pride brought about by the music and fellowship of today, needs to be constantly replenished throughout the year, so we can use the energy generated to meet the reality and challenges we face daily. So what are those challenges we face? Well, we are told that Brexit will see the breakup of the Union. The days of the United Kingdom are numbered, so we are told. This prophet of doom few is based on speculation and wishful thinking. The only thing that will break up the Union is if people vote to break it up. The people of Scotland led the way when they rejected independence in 2014. I know you'll reject it again if the need arises. But you cannot keep voting until you get the result you want. Well, it's a rerun of the independence referendum or a rerun of the Brexit referendum. That's not democracy. That's a recipe for instability and chaos. The Union is secure. It is only weakened when we allow those Republicans and nationalists, be they Scottish or Irish, to undermine our cherished position within the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. We need to reject their scaremongering tactics and constant negativity. In Northern Ireland, with the support of our Scottish brethren and sisters, we could not be bombed or bullied out of the Union. So whatever Brexit brings, we will deal with it, as we've always dealt with the challenges to our sovereignty and our integrity as a nation. Dealing with Brexit surely can't be any harder than defeating Hitler or the IRA. Both require commitment and sacrifice. Sadly, many freedom-loving people paid with their lives. 1 in 10 of everyone murdered in Northern Ireland during the Troubles was a member of the Orange Institution. 339 of our members were murdered, many serving in the Crown forces. As a Royal British Legion chaplain, I conduct a service every year in memory of 3 young Jocks from the Royal Highland Fusiliers who were murdered while off duty and enjoying a night in Belfast in 1971. One of them was only 17 years of age. Many a Highland laddie and Lowland laddie give their all for King and Empire, for Queen and Commonwealth. Brothers and sisters, we in this Orange Institution know the price that defeating tyranny, terror and fascism costs. It requires service and sacrifice. It requires commitment and action. We cannot rest on our laurels with cries of no surrender and we are the people, unless such claims are backed up with commitment and action. Apathy and negativity need to be challenged daily. We need to be working tomorrow and every day from today to ensure the Union remains secure. We need to be selling the benefits of our British way of life and pointing out the folly of nationalism that has little to offer. Going back to the service of those who served in Northern Ireland security forces for a moment, let me add to the Grand Master's comments on the subject. Hundreds of thousands of military, police and others charged with upholding law and order in Northern Ireland served with great distinction, honour and bravery during the course of 40 years. They did so against a campaign of murder and bombing aimed at terrorising us out of the United Kingdom. Yet now we see Sinn Féin and their fellow travellers carry out a campaign that seeks to blame the security forces for all the trouble, that seeks to rewrite history so the terrorists are portrayed as heroes rather than the cowardly murderers that they were. They seek to justify their campaign of misery and destruction. Sadly, the current legacy process shows no degree of proportionality when investigating incidents which happened through the Troubles. The statistical evidence is clear. Terrorists were responsible for 90% of the killings, compared with 10% attributable to the security forces. And many of those were justifiable killings of terrorists while they were engaged in terrorist activity. As already been said, many terrorists have enjoyed the benefits of early release from jail and effective amnesty through sordid political deals. There's been no such special treatment for our security forces, and the families of terrorist victims rarely nowadays see anyone convicted of the murder of their loved ones. Whilst Republicans defend decisions to name play parks after terrorist idols, name their local constituency offices after dead programs, and regularly and shamelessly attend commemoration events to eulogise their terrorist past, Unionist communities are lambasted as contentious and sectarian for expressing our legitimate support for those who serve. Let me be clear. The Orange institution unapologetically supports our security forces, and we pay tribute to their service and sacrifice during decades of a murderous and ruthless terrorist campaign. Republicans run a campaign called It's Time for Truth. Our response is simple. Yes, it is time for the truth, but it's also time to tell the truth. The truth that there was no justification for your grubby little terrorist war. Tell the truth about those who carried out the terror so justice can be done. Tell the truth in order to bring a semblance of comfort to those who suffer from your actions. Sadly, truth is an alien concept to Republicans. Sinn Féin don't do embarrassment, only hypocrisy. But you, the brothers and sisters of Scotland, know about hypocrisy. You experience discrimination and bigotry, not just from the supporters of various Republican terrorists that reside here, the plastic pollies and the progo chumps and their pathetic protests. You face an even greater degree of intolerance and ignorance from the press and politicians, many of whom should know better, but they choose deliberately to try and demonise, belittle and marginalise the Orange family here in Scotland. The press rarely reflect the true nature of days like today, and isolated incidents will be reported as typical. They give few column inches or airtime to articulate the true nature of what the Orange institution represents and actually does. We had a bit of an experience of one of your homegrown journalists who only this week wrote an article in The Guardian about the Open Golf Championship being held in Portrush and a local band contest. The article by Ewan Murray was inaccurate and insulting. He described the band concert as comedic and ludicrous and horrendously embarrassing. His night tone was accompanied by innuendo and bigoted overtones. Sadly, the Orange institution in Scotland faces such inferior reporting almost every day. So I challenge journalists who truly believe in impartial reporting to come and speak with the Orange institution here in Scotland. Find out what they believe, what they do, and who they really are, rather than relying on outdated views and second-hand gossip. Report what you find. Come and speak to the brethren and sisters. Sadly, many are embittered by their own little narrow context and belief system. And the irony of all this is that today we are celebrating King William III's victory at the Boyne that brought about the glorious revolution, that brought freedom of the press. Sadly, many abuse that freedom today through lazy journalism and biased reporting here in Scotland. Let me state clearly again, the Orange institution is not anti-Roman Catholic. We are a fraternity of Protestants who want to live in peace with our neighbours. Indeed, I congratulate those involved in finding an accommodation to the issues faced in Glasgow. An accommodation found in spite of, not because of, call it out. It's the same group who say the Orange institution here in Scotland is anti-Irish. Well, I stand here as someone from Northern Ireland, the son of a Donegal man, and I've received nothing but a warm welcome and the Irish. Where's the master? Grandmaster friends. The Grand Lodge of Ireland welcomed the Taoiseach of the Republic of Ireland to our headquarters because we want good relations with our Irish neighbours. So call it out, let me spell it out. You are the group stirring sectarian bigotry and hatred. You are the group seeking to divide and cause discrimination. Stand aside, stand down, and let the people of Scotland get on being better together. Brothers and sisters, there's no point in fighting yesterday's battles today, because it won't change anything. They do that at Scarborough every year and Kinbilly still wins. It is futile to use strategies and tactics we once used at another time to deal with the difficulties and opposition we face today. The Orange Institution needs to be an organisation that is fit for purpose in this and future generations, fit to defend and promote all we hold dear: our faith, our heritage, our British citizenship. For too long we've allowed others to set the agenda and we responded. And there were good reasons for our response at times. However, the time is right to accept the challenges that change has brought about. It's not change that we necessarily like, but it's where we are. We have to deal with the realities and not how we would like it to be. There is no watering down the truths of the gospel on which we stand. We have been crystal clear in our stance for biblical truth. The Grand Lodge stands squarely behind the sanctity of marriage. We value all human life from the womb to the tomb. The world may have moved from God's word in these matters, but the Orange Institution remains committed to the whole counsel of Scripture. There can be no ambiguity. However, how we defend and promote our faith and political truth requires new thinking, new tactics, and even new alliances. The principles and message remain the same, but how we defend and promote them needs to be made fit for purpose in a world that would be unrecognisable to our fathers and forefathers. We must seek to position the institution to address the challenges we face and respond positively to the opportunities change presents. People are interested in who we are, not as a relic of the past, but as a living organisation that is a key stakeholder in society today. We do things in the Grand Lodge of Ireland that we didn't do 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or 50 years ago. We carry out social media training. We're involved in putting our membership in databases. And we didn't do these things. Why? Because some of the things weren't available then. But we didn't do them because we didn't see them as important. We were fighting other wars at that time. But we need to do it today because it keeps the Orange Institution relevant. It helps promote who we are and what we're about. Running museums, offering training facilities, hosting Facebook sites, sponsoring advertising hoardings, promoting tourism are activities that support our core business. They're not all what we're about, but they're how we share and promote what we're about in a changed world. A Protestant fraternity that seeks to promote our faith, protect the union and provide fellowship for those of like mind. I believe that the Orange Institution is in a good place. We're moving forward. We're adopting the changes in society without compromising our beliefs. We will continue to play an active role and a positive role in civic society. Why? Because the Orange Institution wants to see a prosperous, peaceful, united kingdom where all traditions and cultures are valued and respected. Our institution continues to evolve. We have a long history, but we shouldn't be frightened of change and the challenges. And we need to face those challenges today with the solutions of today, ensuring we continue to be relevant and visible. Let me finish with a well-known illustration that concerns breakfast, and I have to confess I had two this morning. One at the boarding house and one at guest, the Grand Lodge, the County Grand Lodge. Looking at the plate this morning, there was egg and bacon on it. And I wondered what was the contribution of the hen and the pig to my breakfast this morning. Well, the hen was involved in the breakfast, but the pig was committed to the breakfast. Brothers and sisters, We're all involved in the Orange family, whether in the bands or through our lodges or whatever. But we need to be committed for the future. We need to be committed to the institution and the things we stand for. Folks, as we come together to enjoy another glorious 12, may we today and always enjoy our shared Christian heritage, enjoy our culture, enjoy each other's fellowship, and with God's grace, we all together enjoy seeing the institution and the Orange family grow from strength to strength in the years ahead. No surrender.